You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, today is Friday, the 4th of April 2024. And you are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. And somewhat predictably, I haven't done an enormous amount of writing since I last spoke to you. That's purely because I've mainly slept and worked since I last spoke to you. So I think that the podcast came up, was it around about lunchtime, something like that? Or no, it was around about lunchtime, US time, Vegas time. But it was only which was about 8 p.m. I think, British time. So yeah, so I think I've read another couple of chapters, last night. So when I think I had about 6 hours to go before our alarm call, when I went to sleep, and I woke up about an hour and a half before the alarm call. So I got a few hours sleep, which was quite good. I read a couple more chapters. I've got approximately 80 pages left to read now. That's brilliant. And I shall be doing that hopefully tomorrow, actually. I am going into Milton Keynes and meeting up with T.G. Campbell. So that's going to be nice. I want to, as I say, get these last 80 pages signed off. I want to get... So at the moment, the files for the book are back into individual files for each chapter. I want to knit them back together and then do some other bits of work. I've mentioned the turning any likes that should be as ifs and as those into those, not having capital on police, just loads of little things somewhere. So based on the feedback I got from the English hikikomori, I made a list of the things I regularly do incorrectly. And I need to find that. It's the back of an old diary or something like that. But I need to find that, and then I need to basically, once I've signed off the individual chapter read through, once I've read the book again, and made all the little tiny continuity type alterations, because that's what a couple of them are, it's continuity, which is strange. Anyway, once I've done all that, knitted it back together into one file, I just need to look at those particular errors and see... effectively try and sign it off. I don't think I'll get it done tomorrow because I'm going to be jet lagged. I'm struggling to do this now. This is actually take 2 because in the middle of take 1, I had a phone call and it threw my flow, and I thought, no, I'll just start again. But yeah, so that's the plan for tomorrow. I definitely want to get it done by the 7th. So today is the 4th. So 5th, 6th and 7th, I'm not working, and I want to try and get this draft of Still Life signed off. Hopefully it will be the final draft, and then I need to look at things like submitting it to agents and all the other things I need to get back into the habit of doing with the English hikikomori. So that's that. And then the other thing I want to talk about quickly, because I've only got 2 minutes and 53 seconds left, is something that I've mentioned in the past on here several times called NaNoWriMo. Now, NaNoWriMo is an American writing tournament. Well, it's an American created writing tournament that stands for National Novel Writing Month. And basically, the big one is in November. So in November, they encourage you to start a new work. And, they put online resources and, local groups and stuff can support you doing this. And everything I've written so far, all the 3 books all the projects I talk about on here, started off as NaNoWriMo projects. So... English hikikomori was my 2018 NaNoWriMo project. Empress of the Trees was my 2019 NaNoWriMo project. And Still Life was my 2020, which shows you how little I've got done in the last few years. Actually, no, recently I have. In the last sort of year or so, I've got lots done. But there was a big time in the middle where I didn't get a lot done. I think that the pandemic didn't help, and then losing my dad didn't help and stuff like that. So anyway, NaNoWriMo is gone. They've had a couple of issues. So firstly, it appears that they had lots of people who were like volunteers helping run it, and it does rather seem, and I apologise if I haven't got the details exactly right, but there was some quite dodgy grooming going on by one of the admins, which really brought them into disrepute. And then on top of that, they made a weird decision to support some AI-based writing thing as a sponsor for last year's NaNoWriMo, and I think that killed it. So the website's going to be shut down and it's going to stop. And I do think that's a shame, because it got me into the habit of regularly writing, and I don't need it. I mean, to be honest with you, I quite happily do NaNoWriMo this year and still write a book, or start writing a book in November. I don't know if I will, because it just depends where I am with other projects and whether I'm ready to start a new project. But it definitely gave me a focus for the last few years. So I say my 2018 was English Hikikomori, 2019 was Empress of the Trees, 2020 was Still Life, 2021 I think was an attempt to do a sequel to English Hikikomori called Broken People. 2022 I can't remember, maybe I didn't, I'll have to look at what it was. Oh, I know what it was. It was an attempt to do a sequel to the sequel to Still Life. 2023 I think was when I started doing my Doctor Who The Bill crossovers, the 60/40 collection. Then I don't think I really did anything last year. So yes, I will miss NaNoWriMo, but I don't need to start things in November. I just need to start them when I'm ready to start them. So, for example, my plan for this month, as soon as I've finished signing off Still Life, will be to go back to Empress of the Trees, because I've been thinking a lot about the stuff in there. I've been looking at my notes, and I need to just do a few, it's mainly consistency checks and logic checks. So there's a character who pops up at the end that's quite important, and I feel I should see their existence a bit earlier, so they should be in the book before, and so on, just stuff like that. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. I'll be back at some point tomorrow to tell you how far I've progressed tomorrow with Still Life. Thank you for listening. I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.